Hi, thanks for checking out another one of our videos here. This is going to be a kind of an inside view and overview of this particular unit. This is a brand new model that Gallagher just launched here in the States called a Gallagher S12. It's a solar unit, but it's a lithium power. It's got a lithium battery on the inside. So we're going to take this apart and kind of see what makes it tick on the inside. But this is brand new. We just picked it up from Gallagher directly. So we're going to kind of go through it and just kind of curious how it works on the inside a little bit and just take a gander at it, see what this lithium stuff's all about. But yeah, there's my information right there, so if you want to get a hold of us if you got a fence charger need worked on or whatever, that's what we mostly do. But we are a dealer for the Gallagher brand. But I was kind of curious, as being a repair guy by trade, I like to know how things work, especially when someone calls with a question or whatever on there. I like to know as much as I can about it. But so the first thing I like about it, just by holding it, is it's pretty compact and it's got a bit of weight to it. I mean, the plastic feels pretty good. I don't know what kind of plastic they make this out of, but it feels good. It doesn't feel cheap. How this thing grounds itself is on the back here. This little orange knob comes all the way off. There's little teeth right there, and that ties into the ground on the inside. So the way that they let me get the packaging for this thing real quick. I'll show you what it shows on the packaging. Here's the packaging, but see, there's Gallagher's ring top post there. See, they have it. The ring top post goes all the way into the dirt a little ways, so they ground it basically, putting it on the back. And it does come with a little lead here for your hot side. It clamps onto the fence and connects on the back of the unit. But that's they kind of show you how to install it. So you take the knob off, slide it where you want it, and then tighten the knob back on. So, but that's how they show mounting it. You can mount it like that. But say that's not enough grounding for the unit, you could put on one of these, or you could take, like, say, a 6-foot ground rod, knock it in the ground about 4 or 5 foot, and then the last like foot or so sticking out, you can pull that off and clamp it right onto the ground rod. Or if you're using this on a one of those ring top posts that Gallagher sells, put it on there, and then if you need some more grounding, you can put a ground rod clamp, slide it, or I don't know how you would do that actually. Probably put a wire behind here as well, run it over to another external ground rod that you knock into the ground, put a ground rod clamp on that. Probably another way that you can ground it as well, to if you need more grounding for the unit because it's real dry or whatever outside. Not a real hard hitting unit. I mean, it's not, you wouldn't be able to grab this terminal once and hold on to it and knock you back. But here's what it's designed for: a maximum of, when you're talking about clean fence, single wire with not much pressure on the fence line, it'll do up to 4 miles, 18 acres. On typical fence with multiple strands, more pressure from animals, and more grass on the fence, to do 0.6 miles, 6 acres. So if it's more of a real world rating right here than versus this. Most brands give you just this kind of rating, So just 100 miles of fence. Yeah, the single wire clean fence, what that's rated at. But it's a good little packaging on it. Don't give you a whole lot in there. Let me pull the packaging back open again. How's it come apart here? There it is. The unit sits right down inside here, but then the little leads that come with it are down inside there. And there is a manual in there for it. Talks about it. A couple different languages, but so see, it shows you can put it on a ground rod like this. Recommend not putting it down too far into the ground. That way, moisture from the grass and everything, or rain, can't work its way possibly into it, or bugs can't get into it as easily, something like that. And then it shows, so you've got, you're trying to pull wire through off of another fence. You need to electrify just that run there. You can put that on there for stuff, but so that's some good little tidbits of information there about it. It gives you some of the LED. This has one little light on the front here that tells different stuff. Well, 2 little lights. It has a battery light, which is this one right here. Has a little battery symbol, and the one right next to it is your fence indication light right there, a little one right there. So this light, the fence indication light right there next to the button, should be flashing green. If it's flashing green, it means the energizer is okay, it's putting out right. If it's solid red, solid green, it means when you first turn it on, it will flash or be a solid green. If it says if it's red, rapid flashing, energizer is turning off. And then there's on-off button. And then this flat battery, or low battery kind of thing. It's solid red, battery is flat, and you go to troubleshooting. And it talks about the fence and ground connections in the back there. But we'll look into this a little bit on the troubleshooting side of things, see what they actually give you for troubleshooting. The battery LED is solid red, and the energizer has stopped ticking, which these probably aren't super loud when they tick. Battery capacity is flat due to insufficient sunlight. Battery needs charging. And it says solutions. Ensuring energizer is getting enough sun facing the correct direction, which is typically south, but depending on where you're located at, and depending on what's in the way, you could have a tree direct south of you, so you may have to go east or something like that. So energizer is direct sunlight. Turn energizer off for 3 days, leaving the sun to charge internal battery. Energizer is pulsing slow, means the battery capacity is low due to insufficient sunlight. Battery LED flashing red, temperature protection state. Energizer stop pulsing to protect internal battery. Energizer will self-recover when temperature returns to normal operating range. So stock is getting out. That means no or low voltage on fence. The first thing you want to do is unhook the fence charger from the fence and ground. Check energizer isn't faulty. Make sure it tests good. So you disconnect it from the fence and ground or earth. Measure across fence and ground terminals with the Gallagher voltmeter. If less than 5K, return energizer for service. If more than 5K, check the fence for shorts. Add a supplementary ground rod. And it says how to store the energizer. Switch the energizer off. Store in cool, dry, dark, ventilated area to minimize battery current. Recharge the battery before and after seasonal storage. Leaking batteries. If battery fluid comes in contact with your eye, that's normal stuff. Replacing the battery. This battery contains a lithium battery, which is not user replaceable. The lithium battery must be replaced by a trained professional using Gallagher approved lithium battery. Return energizer to a Gallagher authorized service center for battery replacement, so you can return it to us if you ever have problems with it. They give you some of the specs. Output voltage no load is 9.2 kV. It shows how much current it draws during the day and at night. Peak current at poles. It shows the weight and everything. But it's a neat little energizer. I think this will be a pretty cool little thing. It took the place of the S10, S16 kind of took the place of them things. Those are been discontinued now. Alright, so let's just, we'll just do a real quick test on it first, and then we're going to open it up and see what it looks like on the inside. So we're going to press the button. I think the battery already comes turned on already. Okay, they're clicking. Nice little LED on the front there. So we'll go ahead and we'll flip it over to the back here, and we'll put a, I don't have a Gallagher, I got a couple different testers I can try, but we're going to go from fence to ground. It shows 10,000 volts out of it on this one. Let's see what the Gallagher tester shows, which is just a fault finder. In order to test with the fault finder, you need to have the ground probe hooked up to it, which fault finder Gallagher ones do come with these ground probes in the packaging, but most people don't use them. So we're going to go across ground to hot. 9.6 kV, so about the same reading as what the other tester was showing. So let's go ahead and we'll just do a little spark test across and see what kind of spark this thing will throw, which is probably not super big, but big enough. Let's see, I need to get something that will let's see. See how nice little bite to it. For what it's designed to do, it has a nice little bite to it. So let's turn it off. So you press and hold the button. Press a few times red and it shuts off. So we'll put this back on here. Alright, looks like there's still in the back here. Alright, you gotta be kind of careful, there's wires plugged in everywhere. I think it's got a Gallagher made battery in there. There's the little blue batteries, lithium ion battery right there, blue one right there. There's the circuit board, pretty basic little board. I mean, there's probably a bunch more stuff on the back side, but it's got a ribbon cable here. Got your solar panel plugs in right there, and battery wire. It's like it plugs in right there. It's got a conformal coating on the board to kind of protect it from moisture. It uses looks like a stainless steel bolt there on the front. There's the ground side. It's even got a little spark gap right there for lightning. That's what this is for. It jumps over to the hot side. That's what the spark gap has. A built-in lightning diverter in it. It's a pretty neat little unit. Not much going on with it. Pretty compact in design and size. We'll see the inside of it. Has one of those drain transfer little tube on the side of it for the when they fill it up. Get this back together correctly. Yeah, they're on the table over there. They're big white ones. Right there to the right of the, right behind those red chargers. So my initial thoughts on this thing, I think it's a pretty neat little unit. It's got a pretty good spark, 10,000 volts. It says 9.4 or 9.2 in the book, but both the Gallagher tester and my analog fence tester both said almost 10,000, if not a little higher. So I think it's going to be a pretty good little unit. They use the same solar panels that they've been used on the S10s, S20s, S16s, those type of units, using the same solar panel on that one as they used on this one. So those hardly, unless they get stepped on or hit by something pretty hard, these solar panels hardly ever go bad. I never had to replace one, but I have seen them get crushed before in pictures and people talking about it. But yeah, it does come with a little fence lead, so you just hook that up underneath there. There's a little bit, and it's just hand tighten. Don't freaking crank it down with a pair of pliers. Just hand tighten. This is where your ground mounts out, and then this would hook right onto the fence. So I'm pretty excited about this little unit. Hopefully, we're gonna do some more videos on this thing. We're gonna show you how to hook it up onto a fence, just like show how to mount it. But we'll do that in another video. I got to get some posts and everything set up for that. So we'll do that at a later date. All right. Well, hopefully you like this kind of stuff. If you're interested in one of these things, we sell them for about 150 bucks. So if you want one, they're about 150 for one. They come with a 3-year warranty on it. So good warranty on a small solar unit. Pretty compact inside. I mean, look, that's my hand. It fits right in there. So it's pretty compact. So it'll be good to go on, like, trails, and if you want to set up a little paddock for a horse or whatever it was, for a little corral there, you could do something like that. You want to put around a small area for even a garden, maybe. it's going to be a pretty good little unit to have for small setups. I mean, it says up to single strand up to 18 acres, so I mean it cover a pretty good size area if it's single strand and perfectly clean fence and it's grounded well enough. I mean, that would be best case scenario, but on normal fence, you know, looking about 6 acres give or take, so or about half mile, 0.6 of a mile of fence on multi-strand fence. So I like it. I think this would be a good little unit to have for certain setups. I mean, this isn't going to be for everything, but for certain applications, make a good little unit. So I think it's going to be a really good one. I mean, if they're as good as the last generation was, these should be just as good or better than those ones are. So that's it for this little video. If you got any other questions, get a hold of us. And until next time, we'll see you guys later on.